Let's create yet another assignment, a general assignment. We click on assignment. We give the title Write up on uses of computers in education. So we have created this. Let's say we want to put it into a general topic of introduction to computers. We set, let's say, 15 points for this, and you can set the date, as we can see earlier as well, that okay, submit by some date, and we can create a rubric again. So in this we are using different criterias like knowledge and understanding, maybe 5 points. Then we can add another criteria here. Maybe we can say the structure of the write-up. We can assign maybe 5 points to this, and style and presentation of the write-up. Let's say again I assign 5 points to it. So this is another style of rubric. We have some criteria that for the write-up on uses of computers on education. We have we'll be judging the students on knowledge and understanding of the concept, the structure of the write-up, and the style and presentation of the write-up, like if there are some spelling mistakes or is the structure fine. So all these are the parameters on which we are now creating a rubric. So once we click on this save, so it created a simple kind of rubric for us for this write-up. Recently, Google has started this functionality of checking the plagiarism and generating the originality reports. This brings the capability of Google search right to the students' assignments and grading interface through the Google Classroom. So the learning tool helps the students thoroughly to review and analyze the work they are submitting. So once we click on this, it will allow that you can enable originality report on 3 assignments per class. So this is the limitation of this feature for the time being, but if I say continue, whatever assignment the student is submitting, I can check the plagiarism for 3 of the assignments. So now once the assignment has been created and the simple rubric has been created here, we can assign it to students. So it is assigning to students. So the assignment on write-up on uses of computers in education has been assigned and it's due August 13. See the student portal. Techno Update is a student and here she can see that assignment has been posted. Now we can go to classwork. The student can view the work and here she can see that write-up on uses of computers in education has been posted as an assignment. Once we'll click on this, details can be seen like this, and this is the rubric. Student knows that he'll be marked on knowledge and understanding, structure, style and presentation. So here the student can create a file to write this write-up. Maybe he can use Google Docs. So we create on Google Docs. The student is creating a Google document now in which he or she can write the content. So he will open the Google Docs. And he can write the answer here. So he has started creating a Word document in which he is about to write. He just writes some of the context here for this write-up. So student has done this. Now this document is being created. The student can run the originality report, but he or she will be allowed only 3 attempts of running a originality report. Say now students say turn in this assignment. So one attachment will be submitted to a teacher and student says turn in. So now the assignment has been turned in. So teacher can go to grades and see the student name and just click on these dots to view the submission. So now the teacher can see the submission of a student which has been done in Google Docs. So teacher can read it and then grade it on the basis of knowledge and understanding, structuring, and style and presentation. So maybe teacher feels that knowledge and understanding is good, maybe need more structuring, and style and presentation is okay. So teacher can just put up the marks like this and can add some private comments like what the teacher feels about this. And also, let's say if we click on this boundary, we can see plus signs here. So this is for adding a comments in the text that the student has submitted. So let's say here I add a comment that after abstract, please add a section on introduction. So after abstract, there is no headings. So I just added that after abstract, please add a section on introduction. So this is a comment by a teacher on this particular area, after this particular area. So student will be able to see such comments. So this is how a teacher can put up a comments in a document that a student has submitted. So at the end, maybe again, if I feel, okay, add a comment, add some summary. So this is a comment added, another comment added in this text, and then we can add a private comment that needs to improve the structure in the write-up. So this is just a private comment to a student. We added some of the comments on the document what he or she has submitted, and we have marked on these parameters. This is a rubric, and we can simply say post the private comment to him or her, and then we can return the assignment. So once we will return, student will be able to see the grades that he has got. So we are returning it. It is saying returning. So we have returned a student sent. This is my student techno update. Student can see that the assignment on write up on uses of computers has been marked and graded. So he has got these grades according to these parameters in the formative assessment. knowledge and understanding, structure, style and presentation. Teacher put up a personal comment that we need to improve the structure in the writer. And also when the student clicks on the Google Doc, teacher has put some comments here in the Google Doc. So add an introduction after abstract, add a summary here. So these kind of comments a student can see and student can reply. Okay, I will add. So a student can also reply to a teacher, and this is how they can work in a collaborative manner after gaining feedback and improving on the document. A student like Techno Update here can view what is upcoming and it can say view all. So once the student clicks on view all, he or she can see what are all the assignments that have been assigned, what are marked, what are the comments given, and is there any due date or no due date. So all this information that students can see, that what are the assignments, what assignments have been checked and have been returned. So these have been returned to Techno Update by the teacher, and if there is some missing assignment, it will come here. So these are the categories through which student can see the status of what is going in terms of assignments, what he has submitted and what he has got back as a graded. So we have done a lot of things around assignment submit and checking and graded. So let's summarize one thing in terms of submitting and resubmitting the assignment or unsubmit assignment. So let's say this is a sample assignment. What are the uses of internet that has been assigned to the students by the teacher? So these are two students which have got this assignment and nobody has just turned in, nobody has replied or nobody has submitted it back. So let's go to the student's account once. This is the student, Techno Update Maitri is the student. So in his work or her work, they can see that there is an assignment on what are the uses of internet. So they can view the details, they can see the status that it has been assigned, and this is the rubric that has been created for the question by a teacher, so they can know that okay, they will be judged on these parameters. So a student can attempt it, and once it has attempted it, then it can say mark as done. So let's say student wants to attempt this assignment. So let's say he wants to submit a Google Doc stating some uses of internet. So it is creating a document in which he or she can write the uses of internet. So just open the file for editing. So user has written some of the uses of internet. Let's say now he wants to turn in. So the student can turn in directly from here, or he can just close it because it is automatically saved and just say turn in from here. So once the student turns in, he has written the answer, he is turning in. So it says one attachment will be submitted, yes, turn in. After turning in the assignment, student get a tab of unsubmit. So he thinks, oh, I forgot something to write. So he can unsubmit it and resubmit it later. So let's say I think I need to add something more and I say unsubmit. So unsubmit to add or change the attachments. So student is saying unsubmit because he has to add something else. So he is opening and he wants to add that let's say so student has written something. Now he can say turn in from here as well as he has added. So he can turn in again because earlier he wanted to add something. So he unsubmitted it. Now he's turning back again to submit. So now the student is turning in again. Now we'll refresh the teacher's classroom. So here the status is updated that the student technometry update has turned in the assignment. So a student can unsubmit if he feels that okay, it's not a perfect one, he can improve on before the deadline. If the teacher sets a deadline for an assignment, he can unsubmit multiple times and revise before the deadline. But after the deadline, if any set by a teacher, he'll not be able to do this. So let's try again. Unsubmit. He wants to add something else as well. So it is saying unsubmitting, and what happens at the teacher's end? So this is the teacher's end. See, the status has been changed when the student says unsubmit. So 0 has been turned in. So we'll go back to student's account and we say we need to edit more. Let's add something else randomly. So student has done some changes again. Now he says, okay, turn in now. Now I'm okay. And the student is turning in. And teacher can see the status has been again refreshed that Techno Update Maitri has turned in the assignment. So a student can resubmit again and again by unsubmitting before a deadline if any set by a teacher. And grade the assignment. It says it has been submitted, turned in, but it has not been graded. So teacher can grade the same assignment. Let's say teacher gives and we can post some comment and now the assignment has been marked. It has been saved as a draft that these marks have been given by a teacher, but now the teacher can return. Once the teacher returns the assignment, so teacher has graded and returned the assignment to Techno Update Maitri college account student. So now the student can see that he has been graded. He got 14 out of 15, but he can resubmit it. So he can resubmit the assignment if it is within the deadline. So if he says resubmit, that means He can make some more changes to get more marks, maybe to make it more perfect. So he can do some changes again. After the changes, supposingly he has changed something and now he wants to attain more marks, so he says resubmit and turn in. So once the student turns in, the teacher will be able to see again that the assignment has been resubmitted. So the status here has been changed to resubmitted. That means a student has changed something and resubmitted. For this, teacher can go again back to Google Docs and she can see that it has been resubmitted, and then she can see the history. Okay, the history is the student has again turned in the assignment. So it is visible from the history that he has done some resubmission. So teacher can go to Google Docs and check what changes he has done again. So teacher can see that the student has done changes and it is a resubmitted version. So in case she wants to improve the marks, she can improve the marks and then say return. So previously marks were 14, now it's 15. So the updated marks have been returned to the student. We'll refresh the student page. And now the student can see his or her marks have been updated to 15 after the resubmission. So definitely students can resubmit the assignment to improve upon, or they want to do some modifications in the assignment if they realize later, but all should be before the deadline, if any, set by a teacher. So as a teacher in a Google Classroom, we can view the assignments that we have assigned to students. Once we click on view assignments, we have an area of student work. In this, we can see the status that how many students have turned in the assignments, how many have been assigned, and how many have been graded. Also, we have a special setting icon here. When we click on this, we have an option to download all the grades of students in all the quizzes or assignments as a CSV file. We can download grades for a particular assignment as well, and we can copy all the grades to Google Sheets as well to maintain a record. So if I click download all grades as CSV, I click on this. So it will download a file for me. So this file has been generated for BSc Physical Science, and I click and open it. The file has been downloaded. So it's opening. And we can see here the status. We have student name, techno update. We have the email ID of a student. We have the assignment and marks obtained by the student. He has not attempted, but here he got 5 out of 5, 15 out of 15, 1 out of 1, 11 out of 15, and 17 out of 20. So these are few of the assignments that we created in our Google Classroom. So all of them which are being marked have corresponding marks entries inside this XLS, and rest are blank. The marks which have not been graded are blank. So this is how we can generate a mark sheet from our Google Classroom on different assignments or quizzes we have created. If there is a deadline on the quiz, there is a notification that okay, the student had to submit the assignment before this date. So this is the summary of every student we can attain from Google Classroom. We have created few rubrics. For example, for this we created this rubric, and also for the question on website development we created another rubric. With these rubrics we can do edit, or we can export the rubrics to sheets. So once I click on export the rubric to sheets, it will export the rubric in my Google Drive. Similarly, I can export the other rubric as well. So I click on this, I can edit it further, or I can export to Google Sheets in my G Drive. So now when I'll go to my G Drive, it will show the imported rubrics. So this was the rubric for write-up on computer uses in education, and this is the rubric for website development. So from here, I can share this rubric with my fellow colleagues by just sharing a Google Sheet as we used to do in Google Sheets sharing. So I click on this and I can share this rubric with anybody. Purpose, let's say we want to create another assignment in the chapter 3 internet. So we are creating an assignment. What are the uses of internet? Write a small write-up, and we need to can set some points, and we need to have a rubric, and we want similar rubric as question number 1 as we did on write the uses of computers in education. So we click on rubric. Instead of creating a new rubric again and again, if you want to use the similar kind of functionality, we can reuse the rubric. So I click on reusing and it shows me the templates. So I can use this template for this question as well, and I say select. So the same rubric has been applied to this question as well, and we can assign this to the students. So in chapter 3 we have another assignment posted, that is rubric driven, and rubric is same as was in the earlier assignment on write-up of uses of computers in education. So this is how we can reuse the rubric. Also, we have another option to export the rubrics from sheets. A demonstration, if we are having an essay kind of write-up on how ICT playing a role in COVID-19 scenario as an assignment. For this, if we want to create a rubric, I can also add the rubric from import from sheets. So I can take any kind of rubric that has been shared in my G Drive or uploaded in my G Drive directly from my drive. I select and say add. So this is the third way through which we can add rubric to our questions or assignments. We can modify a little bit if you want. We can edit it. Suppose we can change the points here to 10. So automatically the question will become now of 20 marks. So I say save, and here I can just enter now the questions are of 20 marks. So we created a rubric for 20 points, and here we have entered 20 points, and this is another assignment that we can assign to students. So to summarize, we can add rubric through 3 ways. One, directly creating it. One, reusing the rubric. And third, we can export it from the sheets. So if I have created a rubric and I have shared it with my fellow colleagues can use that rubric into their Google Classroom. So it is for collaboration purpose.